Martin, you did a wonderful job in this. And,
Thanks,
you know,
Bonnie.
I have to ask you, I mean, initial reaction to this story.
I'll be honest with you, I got a call or an email, I forget which, from my agent saying, the director of this movie wants to meet you. I'm like, okay, what is it? It's Miracles from Heaven. I said, okay, what is it about? He said, well, just read it. I think you really enjoy it. I said, okay. So I sat down, I started reading it. 10 minutes into it, I had a cynical reaction. I thought, okay, here's another sick kid movie. I've seen this before. Why do I need to read this? And by 15 minutes into it, I was completely absorbed and so involved emotionally with what was happening to this family. And I think maybe because one knows it's a true story, so that adds such an element of pathos. You really understand that these are not fictional characters. This is happening to a little girl, and this family has really gone through this. So when it gets to the point where they're looking at possibly losing their beloved daughter and all of the pain that they went through and the faith they had to access in order to go through it, it was so inspiring. And of course, the movie ultimately is so positive and uplifting, and it's such a message of hope and faith. And that made me reflect on my own faith or lack of it. And I just felt like it was such a unusually positive story to be putting out there.
Yeah.
Particularly in Hollywood. We don't make a lot of movies like this. And it seems to be there's more and more of an audience for these kind of films, irregardless of the religious aspect. I think it's just nice to be putting something out there that makes one reflect on the values of community and love and family and faith, and that's it. So it was kind of a no-brainer. By the time I read the script, I was so excited to be a part of it.
The Beams are completely incredible people. I'm a mother.
Yeah.
I don't know how I could have gotten through it. And to watch Jennifer in this role, I mean, you were spectacular too, because Kevin had to hold down the fort. He had a lot of things he had to do, but to watch Jennifer, who spent most of her time with Kylie playing Anna, wow, what more can I say?
Yeah. And she's beautiful in the movie, and had to go to so many difficult places, and and I take my hat off to her and Kylie. I mean, what Kylie did is phenomenal for such a young actress to portray those kind of emotions so authentically and courageously, and there's such a maturity that she has in order to do that. And I think that made our job easier. She was so easy to care about and love. I adore that girl. And so it was somewhat easy to just imagine yourself in that situation, that if this was really happening to you and you had to face the possibility of losing someone like this, she did a beautiful job.
How helpful is it for you to have the real guy by your side if you needed him, or to spend
great.
time with Kevin?
Great. It cuts both ways. There's certainly a double-edged sword where there's a huge amount of pressure in terms of the responsibility you feel to portraying that person authentically. So I definitely, felt somewhat, and we're very different in many ways, and I didn't want to mimic him. I wanted it to just sort of be more of an authentic representation of who he is as a man, and that was interesting, getting to know him. And Kevin was very welcoming. I went down to his family home and the church and his work, and I would text him. I would say in the middle of a scene, or if I'm about to shoot a scene, hey, I'm about to do that scene where we find out about Anna's condition. Can you just tell me what was going through your mind at that moment? How did you actually react? And what did you want to show your wife? And what did you want to keep hidden because you wanted to appear maybe stronger than you were really feeling? And all those complexities, to have someone who could give me an insight into exactly what he went through was actually a big asset.
Yeah. Clearly, working on a film like this, it's not just a film, it can change you as a person, but I want to know what Miracles now mean to you.
Well, I'm of the belief, and this is certainly not always been the case. I've gone through periods of my life where I've focused more on what is lacking in my life, or looking to what others might have and thinking that I don't have enough, or I need more, or coming from a perspective of lack. And I certainly try my best today to focus on the miracles that are in my life, you know. And I think life itself. We can all say, well, what is a miracle? Where's a miracle? I don't see any miracles. Like, I think life is a miracle. It's astounding. Like, it spins my head inside out when I really think about it, and the humility that it takes to just appreciate that and say, okay, this is a gift, and what I do with it is also a miracle, if I choose to look at it that way. So that's kind of how I look. You know, I look at life itself as a miracle, and just keep open to more, because I didn't create any of this.
Yeah, well, as we all should. It's really an eye-opening movie, and really does make you think. And you did such a wonderful job in it. And thanks for making me ball my head off.
Yeah,
okay.
Sponsored by Kleenex.